listening to, you are absolutely listening to the George Espenlaub Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm. Now, with no further ado, here comes Georgie!
Oh my, you're a rowdy bunch tonight. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. I don't know what I'd do. I really don't know what I'd do without Charlie. He's been with me for so many years. I think I'd just be beside myself. Come on, Espenlaub. Straighten up here. Anyhow, you're listening to the George Espenlaub Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm in a place called Our World. We don't have a tangible address. We never had one. We don't have one, and we're not going to have one because this is our world, and it's a lot safer here than it is in your world. We have two goals in mind. Number one is to bring a smile to your face. Hopefully we'll make you laugh. Number two, we want to make you just as crazy as the rest of us around here. And listen to me, whether you're down the street, around the corner, across America, or somewhere around this world, we are delighted that you're tuned into us tonight because we have another toe-tapping, finger-snapping, head-bobbing, booty-shaking show planned for you tonight. This is the second night of foot-tapping, finger-snapping, head-bobbing, booty-shaking week. And we had a time last night, and I'm gonna guarantee you that we're gonna have another time tonight. I better do this right in the beginning of the show, or I'm gonna get in trouble. So here goes. Tonight's show is sponsored by Grummy's Custom Flags. That's GRUMMY''S, excuse me, Custom Flags. Custom-made wood flags made to order with logo of your choice. Look them up on Facebook. Grummy's Custom Flags. GRUMMY''S, Custom Flags. Call them. Call Travis. That's the man's name, Travis. 814-207-5489 and tell him Espenlaub sent me. Will you do that? All righty. I had something else to say, but I can't remember what it was, and the only thing I remember is... Stop it. The only thing I remember is that I forgot. So, moving right along, it might come to me, and then again, it might not. We have in the guest chair tonight a fine, fine gentleman, a superb musician, singer, songwriter, businessman, and he is out of the state of Mississippi. And we want to introduce to you tonight Mr. Zach Day. Zach, thank you for being here with me tonight on the George Espenlaub Show.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. I'm excited to do it.
And you're way down there in Mississippi.
That's right, and I just rolled into town about an hour, or less than an hour ago, I guess.
Wow. And we was talking off the air. This is the first time you've been home in how long?
It's been about 2.5 months, and I actually played in Colorado Springs last night from 7 to 10, and after the show, I jumped in my van and took off and drove all night and all day, and I just finally got back home. So I got about 2 weeks at home, and then I got to go back to Austin, Texas for about 3 weeks. And then I got some shows back here in Mississippi in October, and then November I'm going to the Czech Republic and playing my first European blues festival over there.
Wow. And listen, Zach, if I forget, because I have a tendency to do that nowadays, if I forget, please mention that Czech Republic gig to me again, will you?
Yeah, I'll do that for sure. For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can look up Zach at Zach, that's ZACH, ZachDayMusic.net. You can go all through the website and look at the pictures and all the good things, or you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and up on YouTube. So do yourself a favor, go to ZachDayMusic.net, and you can bounce onto those other places right from his website. Zach, tell me a little bit about where you came from, how you got started, and all that good stuff.
All right, yeah. I grew up in the Mississippi Delta in Greenville, Mississippi, and as you know, this part of the world is pretty saturated in music, and then all my family was from a town called Hazelhurst, Mississippi, which is just south of Jackson. And that's where I live now, and I've been living there for several years. But Hazelhurst, Mississippi is the hometown of Robert Johnson, which any blues or any music fans whatsoever probably know who Robert Johnson is. He's known as the king of the blues, the father of the blues, I mean. And but anyway, when I went to Mississippi State University, and I was young and dumb, and my first semester, I made it through the semester, and I had a rap sheet of stupid things I had been doing, and they finally laid the hammer on me and suspended me for a year. So I came home. We had a little cabin out in the woods where we go hunting, and I decided I was just going to go live out there, and there's no water, no electricity, no cell phone service back then. I don't even think I had an iPhone yet. And I took my guitar and a chord book and some Hank Williams songs and started learning 2 and 3 chord Hank Williams songs. And let's see, that was about 10 years ago now. So I've been playing and singing and writing music for about 10 years now.
So up until this time, did you play a guitar?
No, I didn't. I had tried when I was a teenager, and I guess I just wasn't coordinated enough. I could not do it. And I got kicked out of school, and I moved out there, and I didn't have nothing else to do. I just had time. And so I'd build a fire in there and then sit around and learn chords and learn how to swap between chords and how to strum. And then, anybody out there that plays guitar and sings knows that when you can play guitar and sing at the same time, your brain has made a major adjustment that, it's a major milestone to be able to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was a thrill for me. And so the better I got at that, the more I practiced, and then I started writing my own stuff. And anyway, it's been, I've basically been broke ever since then.
I tell people I can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time, much less play guitar and sing. But listen, brother, something, and I was sitting here thinking, something must come down upon you when you were out there, because you said when you was younger you picked it up and you just couldn't get it right, but then all of a sudden the guitar playing took place, and the singing took place, and the songwriting took place. I mean, something got a hold of you when you were out there. Is that about right?
Man, I really don't know what happened, to be honest with you. I guess my brain just decided it was time to be able to do something I really wanted to do. And, and most people that are 18 or 19 years old that are going to school, going to college, they don't have a clue what they want to do, and I didn't either. And I'd never played music, and it wasn't until I graduated college that I decided I was going to actually try to be a musician. So I had 5 or 6 years there where I just played to myself at home, and then eventually some friends talked me into playing at a local place, and and that I just was hooked after that. And so once you start to see some kind of progress it's really good motivation to keep pushing harder and getting better at it. And then you sort of start to build that dream in your head. Well, maybe I can do more than just play in my bedroom by myself, you know. Maybe I can take it somewhere else. And also the other motivation was, you know, I've been working on farms and working offshore and working in electrical substations, and, you know, I mean, I could do it, but it wasn't exciting. It wasn't what I wanted to do, you know. And so when it came time to graduate, it was either I had to choose probably farming or, you know, take a risk and try to play some music, you know, while I don't have any major responsibilities yet in life. And so I took the shot and moved down to Austin for a while. And Austin's a great place to get started as a young musician. There's a lot to do there. There's a lot of open mics, you know, and that's really the kind of things you need to do if you're going to try to get out in front of people and play. You need to just get out there every night and do something a little different.
Well, what we're going to do, Zach, is we're going to take a break and we're going to play one of your songs. Will that be all right?
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love for you to.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans, and countrymen, I want both your ears, not just one. We're going to listen to Po' Boy.
Corn's all dead now, ain't got nothing to eat for food, yeah, alright. I've always been a poor boy, but Lord knows I'm one now for sure. Yes, I'm poor for sure, yeah. Chickens in the yard, my old dog, he ate them all, yeah, alright. My woman run off with the milkman, Lord, they headed out for Arkansas, out for Arkansas. I've always been a poor boy, but Lord knows I'm one now for sure. Yes, I'm poor for sure. Worn out pair of overalls, worn out head in a busted shoe, yeah. Oh, but I got this guitar, well, Lord, I know how to play it in blue, how to play it in blue. Yes, I pull for sure, yeah.
All right, Zach Day and Po' Boy. Zach, I like that. I love the blues. I mean, if I don't hear the blues, I'll get blue myself. And I can't play guitar, and I can't write music, and I'd just be a terrible mess. That is. All right.
You know, man, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I grew up on country music and southern rock, and and the Allman Brothers that's probably my favorite band, and Greg Allman's one of my favorite singers of all times. And as I got older and then as I started playing more music, I really started getting more interested in the blues, and I started playing a slide guitar, and then I got a cigar box guitar, and so I really started doing a lot more bluesy stuff. And it's complicated to write a blues song sometimes over a country song. It just depends on your style, but I've always liked to combine the two, and I thought the Allman Brothers kind of did that, and Marshall Tucker Band, and Leonard Skinner. They could play real heavy blues, or they could play a contemporary country song too. And that's kind of the thing that I try to do when I do my live shows. I sort of bounce around between country and blues, and somewhere right in the middle.
I have listened to your songs. I spend a considerable amount of time listening to songs. And listen, anything that'll make me tap my foot, snap my fingers, shake my head, or bob my head and shake my booty is good music to me. And all of your music does that to me. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us tonight Zach Day. And you can go check out his website, zachdaymusic.net. And right from his website, as you go through all the different things, you can bounce into Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. He's in all those other places too. Zach, tell me, lest I forget, tell the folks far and wide, near far and wide, where they can get your music.
Well, it's on. They can find it on Spotify, iTunes, and all those digital sites. And then I also sell a physical CD on my through my website. And honestly, if people look hard enough, they can probably find it for free out there. And I'm all right with that as long as somebody's listening to it. That's all I really care about.
Cool.
It's not like Spotify or any of that pays enough to make any difference. I'm just glad people are listening to it.
Well, I do have to say this, and I mean this. So you were like 18 or 19 when you first sat down in that secluded place, and whatever it was came down upon you, and you started to learn how to play the guitar, right?
Yeah, I was almost 20 years old, actually. I was about a month away from being 20.
Well, I must say that whatever that was, whatever happened to you in that place, excuse me, whatever happened to you in that place, it sure, whatever it was, it sure did a good job on you because, man, I mean, for someone that never did it when they were young, and then you're almost 20 years old when this thing happens to you, my hat is off to you because you have done one spectacular job. Man, it is so good. Can I play another one real quick?
Yeah, and I honestly, unless you have one queued up, Mississippi Heat is one that is a fan favorite, and another one is Whiskey, Women, and Weed. I don't know if you can play that on the air or not.
I got them all right here. All I got to do is hit them. Charlie, hit that Mississippi Heat because, man, that is one of my favorites, Zach, and I'm not kidding. No flattery, just downright truth. Ladies and gentlemen, Mississippi Heat by Zach Day.
The sun rises up from the east. See that heat rise up on the street. Welcome to that Mississippi humidity. Feel that Mississippi humidity. Them hay fields need cutting again. Sweat your ass off, praying for a win. It's so hard to breathe at 110. No, it's hard to breathe at 110. The summer heat drives them women wild. They take off their clothes like it's going out of style. Them boys come a rolling for miles and miles. Have them boys a rolling for miles and miles.
Hey, Zach, I told people today, don't wear your socks when you come tonight because he's going to, excuse me, he's going to blow your socks right off. And ladies and gentlemen, if all of a sudden you look down and your socks are gone, that's exactly what I was talking about because I'll guarantee I can see you. Your feet was moving and you blew your socks right off. So there you go. Zach, you put a lot of miles on the road recently. Have you figured up about what you traveled? How many miles?
Oh, it's got to be I'd say it'd be up there around 9 or 10,000 on this last trip, if I had to guess.
Wow. And where did you start up and where did you end up?
I started in Austin, Texas, and I'd get on the map. You know, for musicians out there that are trying to set up a tour, what I would do is just I book a show in Austin, and I look at the map and sort of make a direction that I wanted to go and pick a highway, and then I'd pick towns along that route, and I'd Google that town and Google live music in that town, and then I'd call venues and email venues and Facebook message or however they do it. And the sad part about it is about 90% of them you don't hear back from. But if you can get one or two shows in every one of those towns, you can start setting up a real route that you can take that makes sense, that, you know, you're not burning time going back and forth. And so I made my way all the way across central and then western Texas to Amarillo, and then jumped across into New Mexico and did Santa Fe and Albuquerque and Las Vegas, New Mexico, and I stayed in there for a couple of weeks. And then I made my way up north to Colorado, and I think I did about 3 weeks in Colorado, and then I went all the way up to Cheyenne, and then back to Colorado, and then last night I ended in Colorado Springs.
Wow. And you recently, didn't you do a tour up in Canada before all this?
Yeah, I've been up there a couple times. I went back and those are actually my very first official tours that I ever did was 2015 and 16. I went to Eastern Canada, and I did about 7,000 or 8,000 miles on both of those trips, from Toronto all the way out to Prince Edward Island and then back again.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Zach Day with us tonight. He's sitting in the chair. You can read all about it like the newspaper boy used to say, ZachDayMusic.net. And from there, you can bounce right into Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, get his music, spread the word. However you do it nowadays, just get it done and get him out there, because he is a fine, fine musician. Great singer, songwriter, businessman. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This man, when he was almost 20 years old, something came down on him. That just amazes me, Zach. Something came down upon him and did something to him. And this is the result of whatever that was. Learn to play the guitar, write songs, sing, chew bubblegum, walk at the same time, all those good things. Man, we're just delighted to have you here, Zach. You're a lot of fun. Tell me one of the funniest things that's happened to you thus far while you were on tour.
Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you this. I was staying with a friend of mine in Fort Collins, and somebody had told them about, and this has nothing to do with music, but somebody told them about a river sort of up in the mountains from Fort Collins that you could take an inner tube down. And so we went to Walmart to try to buy some inner tubes, and they were out. All they had was these pool floats that you kind of recline on, that, you know, it's just a thin little pool floaty. And so we figured, well, it's probably a slow float because we're both from Mississippi and everything down here is slow moving, including the water. And so we get up there and we get in that cold water, and we all cracked open a beer, and we got to the first rapids. All our beers got full of water. We lost the cooler. We had to collect all our cans, and while we're collecting cans, people are coming flying by on kayaks. You know, I mean, the rapids were so big, people were kayaking down through there. And anyway, we ended up making it all the way down to the bottom, and the whole way people were laughing and filming us and taking pictures because we were flipping over and getting stuck on rocks. And anyway, it was a blast. But that's one of the highlights of my trip for sure. We spent about 3 hours trying to get through there without dying.
Ladies and gentlemen, whiskey, women, and weed.
Whiskey, women, and weed. the three vital essentials I need. One drowns my sorrows, one drives me insane, and the other to ease my pain. Sitting out here on the stump with some hot Jim Beam I cup, just sitting here thinking while she's somewhere drinking, and I wonder if I'll ever get up. This long white joint in my head gonna help me to make a new plan. Gonna smoke it and get stoned, and I'll stumble back home, wake up and start over again. Whiskey, women, and weed, the three vital essentials I need. One drives my sorrows, one drives me insane, and the other to ease my pain. The truth is I don't give a damn about the bastard you think that I am. Well, you can love me or hate me, screw me or forsake me, but I'll still play the same hand. If you could just see what I knew, just take one walk in my boots. Will you change your mind and you'll join me in time, and you sit on a stump all day too. Whiskey, women, and weed, three vital essentials we need. One drives our sorrows, one drives us insane, and the other to ease our pain. One drowns my sorrows, one drives me insane, and the other to ease my pain.
That one was kind of like an old traditional type song, wasn't it?
Yeah, it kind of, I think it kind of falls into a category like Hank Williams Jr. or something like that, maybe.
Yeah. I can remember listening. Well, I won't go there. I won't go there. But anyhow, I can remember. If you get my drift. Wow. So you're going to be home for 2 weeks, and then you're going to take off for where?
I'm going back to Austin, Texas. I mostly play, like when I'm touring, I mostly do solo shows just because it's easier for me to do, and it's a little bit more affordable for the long, for doing a long tour. And my van will only really fit me to sleep in there. I can't have 2 or 3 of us sleeping up in there. That just would not be fun. So, but in Austin, I got a band down there. I play with a bass player and a drummer from down there that every once in a while they'll play with Ray Wiley Hubbard, and they used to sit in with Willie Nelson, and all those guys down in that area are just all connected with everybody, and they're older guys, and so they heard me play one night, and we got to talking, and they liked my kind of older style of blues and country, and so we've been playing together, and I got a bunch of shows booked for us to play together in September down there in Austin.
That's really amazing, of how in any walk of life, whether you're a musician or a skilled carpenter, whatever, but particularly in your world, it's amazing how you can come together with other people that's in your same field, and how a lot of times they just kind of gel together. I had a fellow a friend of mine from Athens, Georgia, Rick Fowler, who has the Rick Fowler Band out of Athens, and he was just several weeks ago. He was saying how in his area, and I guess it's that way in other areas, it seems like when the musicians come together, I mean, they come together because they love to play music, and there's no big guy, there's no little guy. We're here to have fun, and we are in there to do this thing because it's our passion. Do you find that to be true?
Well, I tell you what, I've played with some guys. I've played with a lot of really good musicians, and some of them are more focused on making a living, which I understand because I'm the same way. I have to make a living too. But you come across some guys that don't really care that the money is just a bonus. They just want to play music that they enjoy playing, and when you can come across some guys that really, when I come across those guys down there in Austin that really enjoy what I do and they're enthusiastic about playing it, and they have ideas on how to improve and change up stuff every once in a while, that really gets me excited and motivated to to practice more and to work harder and book more shows with them. And so it's when you collaborate with other people, you get a lot more ideas. And one thing I don't collaborate on is songwriting, and I don't know, I just haven't been able to cross that that plane of relaxing enough with somebody else to get into that, because it's a very personal thing for me, even songs that aren't personal per se, but when you get on stage with a group of guys and you start playing and you hear your music playing through the speakers and it sounds good, it's a feeling, it's a drug that you can't really explain when that happens. It's almost like you're all connected with some kind of, like you're all plugged into the same thing some kind of way.
Yeah, that's something that I was talking about. That's something that comes down upon you, and everything gels, and it's just like, wow, this thing is really, really coming together, really working. Now, how long have you been at this thing?
I have been, I've been a full-time musician for 5 years now, and like I said, I went down to Austin and kind of got my feet on the ground, and I had some kinfolks down there that I stayed with, and they were good at business stuff, and so they helped me set up my website and and all those things that make it look legitimate, like I was really going to try, to be a musician. And then once I kind of got that ball rolling, I was like, well, you know what, I'm going to go home, I'm going to put this on the road, put it to the test, and I just started playing all over Mississippi. And I was playing 4 or 5 shows a week, just wherever I could play for, a lot of them weren't even paying me anything. And you got to do that stuff to learn everything there is to know about the business, basically.
Right.
All the good stuff and all the bad stuff. And there's a lot of both. But once I started getting comfortable in Mississippi, then I went back to Austin, and I just kind of bounced it back and forth and let it grow off of itself that kind of way. And then I went to Canada, and then, it's weird how things just kind of snowball over time without you even realize it, and then when you look back on it, we always feel like we're not achieving enough until we can look back at the big picture and see what we've accomplished over, whatever amount of time we've been working on something.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sometimes we've got to look back to see where we're at, and then looking ahead.
Exactly.
Then looking ahead looks even a little bit better. How about if we play Prison Song?
Yeah, man, I love that one. Actually, I'll tell you the story of that one. I went and played a festival in Nashville, and I was on my way back, and I came through Memphis, and I picked up this station on the AM radio, and they were playing recordings from the Mississippi Penitentiary, Parchment Penitentiary, and from Angola down in Louisiana. And it was these old guys that were in prison that were blues players, and they didn't even know their names and all that, you know. And so I thought that was a really cool thing, and luckily I didn't have any personal experience with prison, but I sort of tried to build up a story of how one of those guys could have possibly ended up in prison, you know, or whatever. And anyway, I wrote the song kind of based on that premises. And anyway, it turned out to be a pretty neat song, I think. It's kind of a mix of blues, country, and maybe even bluegrass, if you can stretch it that far.
All righty, here we go. Prison Song.
Don't mess with the law down in Mississippi. You'll end up in Parchment Penitentiary. Chopping pigweed with a worn-out hoe. That buckshot mud will become your home. Lord, I said, listen, Lord, listen to me. You got to, Lord, got to stay free. Yeah, all right. Don't go to prison down in Louisiana. You'll end up in Angola for sure. Wishing you was home, standing that bayou, swinging a pickaxe and shoveling mud. Lord, I said, listen, Lord, listen to me. You got to, Lord, you got to stay free. Yeah, all right. Don't stab a man in Pie County. Strangle a woman down in Baton Rouge. Try to escape across that Mississippi. Yeah. When you end up riding that tree, like said, listen, Lord, listen to me. You got to, Lord, got to stay free. I said, listen, Lord, listen to me. Oh, I said, you got to, Lord, got to stay free. Yeah, all right.
Wow, that was good. That was really good. Hey, listen, we're getting some great
Oh, thanks, man.
we're getting some great comments in the chat room. Allie from Vermont said bluegrass. Yeah, blap, 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 blap. I'll get it right. Bluegrass, love it. John Bundy, and he's out in the Colorado, in Denver area. He said it reminds me of Gary Clark from Austin. And then he said, let's see, with violin no less. tasteful. And Allie said, Allie agreed with John. So, yeah, that was fantastic. Listen, before I let you go, because I know you just got home, and you don't need to hear my lip tripping, but tell us about this Czech Republic trip that you're going to take.
Yeah, that'll be on November 16th, and it's my first trip to Europe, and it's a pretty big deal. I think it's in a theater that holds about 1,000 or 1,500 people or so, and anyway, I'm gonna do it solo too, so that's gonna be, interesting to be up on a stage by myself in front of 1,500 people. I've played a few times in front of about 500 people, but this will be a big step for me for sure. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to get to go to Europe, especially to play music. So I'm gonna make the most of it while I'm there.
Wow, and we wish you nothing but the best. Hey Zach, listen, you've been on a long journey. You put a lot of miles on recently, and it seems to me that you've got a lot of miles to go. But it sure does seem to me also that, man, you are popping, brother. You are really popping, and I'm happy for you. Very, very happy for you. I just want to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, go to Zach Day Music, ZachDayMusic.net, and you can read all about it. You can get his music there. You can go to iTunes and all the other digital places. You go to Spotify and, all those places that we get music nowadays, and get you some. That's all I can tell you. Just get you some, because I think you're going to hear a lot about Mr. Zach Day in the future.
Yeah, and actually, let me promote something real quick. Right before I went on tour, I recorded an acoustic album, and I'm planning on trying to get back in the studio and finish that up between now and the end of the year. So, I'm an independent artist, and I do everything myself. So the more y'all that can get on there and get on my social media and help share the wealth and all that around, and I'm gonna do some giveaways and give out some free music when my new album comes out. So y'all be sure to go on there and follow me on Instagram and Facebook and on all that, so y'all can keep up with what I'm doing, and hopefully I can give something away to some of y'all if you're out there listening. I'd love to hear from you.
There you go. That's our mission, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we bring folks on the show, regardless of what their skill set is, regardless of where they're at and what walk of life. We bring them on this show, and then we try to push them out there as far as we can. I got a message for you, Zach, from Allie, who lives in Vermont. She said, "Hey, Pops, tell Zach Vermont wants him up here." Yeah, man, fantastic. Listen, Zach, I'll send you all my information. We've been collaborating back and forth between Tracy has done a lot of legwork for us, and I sure do appreciate that. But I'll send you all the information, phone number, email, all that good stuff. And please call me anytime. I mean that. Call me anytime. Stay in touch with me. Let me know where you're at, and if there's anything at all that I can possibly do to help you along your journey, please let me know. Will you do that?
Man, I appreciate that so much, and like I said, for an independent artist, having any kind of help from anybody is just an honor. Honestly, I mean, a lot of people say they're going to help, but to have folks like you that actually let us get out there on the air without being some kind of well-known name, it's a big deal for us. And so I'm speaking for all of us young musicians that are trying to make something of ourselves. We appreciate what you do as much as you seem to appreciate us as well.
Well, I've always said this. We've got the big names up on marquees and lit up all over the world, but I've always believed this, I still believe this, I'll believe it until the day I die. There is talent out there, And you are just one example of the talent that is out there, and people need to hear the talent that's out there. And I thank you so very, very much for coming on the George Espenlaub Show tonight. And like I said, call me, email me, message me, however you want. Even drive up, come see me. I'm over here in Delaware. So if you're on your tour,
be careful what you wish for.
No.
Be careful what you wish for. You never know where I'll show up.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Come see me. It's awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. God bless you, buddy.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
All righty. We'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Zach Day. And listen, I played this song earlier, but we're going to play it one more time. Mississippi Heat by Zach Day.
The sun rises up from the east. See that heat rise on the street. Welcome to that Mississippi humidity. Feel that Mississippi humidity. Them hay fields need cutting again. Sweat your ass off, praying for a win. It's so hard to breathe at 110. No, it's hard to breathe at 110. The summer heat drives them women wild. They take off their clothes like it's going out of style. Them boys come a running for miles and miles. Have them boys a running for miles and miles.
I love Bosco, it's rich in chocolate tea. Chocolate flavored Bosco is mighty good for me. Mama puts it in my milk for extra energy. Bosco gives me iron and sunshine vitamin D. Oh, I love Bosco, let's for me.
If you need help, hang up and then dial the operator.
There's some crazy things that go on here at the Funny Farm. You just never know what might pop up, what might happen, who might drop in or fall out, one of the two. Listen, we have our friend here tonight, and all night long, Peter, that's the dude's name, Peter. He is an inmate, a client here at the Funny Farm, and he has this awful condition, and he has been maintaining himself all night. And so I think we ought to give a big cheer for Peter because he hasn't. Oh, well. Oh, Peter, you need to go get something done. Ladies and gentlemen, another song by Zach Day.
Feel my kisses, baby.
ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Zach Day. I want to thank him very, very much for taking time out. I mean, he has been on the road for several months, and he just got back home. But yet he was so gracious to come on the show tonight and talk with us. Thank you, Zach, for being so kind, so gracious, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck. Now, listen to me. On Thursday night, we are going to have Cass Clayton and the Cass Clayton Band with us. Wow. I know, and I'm telling you again, don't wear no socks into this place. Because you're going to get them blowed right off. Cass Clayton will be here. I mean, you will be tapping your foot, snapping your finger, bobbing your head, and shaking your booty. I'll guarantee it. Friday night, Mr. Rick Lally out of Kansas will be with us. I believe he's in the Kansas City area. So we have got some things going on. I want to give a special shout out to my friend John Bundy out of the Denver area, Denver, Colorado. We let Wednesday night open, and I don't really know why we did that, but this is what I want to say. We let Wednesday night open, but John, if you want to get together and get something going, you just message me, call me, do whatever, email me, whatever. If it's in your interest, if it's convenient for you, then we'll put something together, buddy, and we'll go with it. If not, we'll take the night off, sit back, and relax. But whatever. Thursday night, Cass Clayton and the Cass Clayton Band. Friday night, Rick Lally will be here, and we are going to have us a time. I sure do want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. It has been a delight. And as I always say, whether you are down the street, around the corner, across America, or somewhere around this big world, this is George Espenlaub saying thank you. Thank you, and I mean that. Thank you from the depths of my heart for tuning in. Want to give a shout out to my good buddy over there in Ireland, old Harry. Harry's my buddy. I've known Harry a long, long time. Great broadcaster. Listen, he comes on Spreaker.com Sunday afternoon Eastern Time at 3 o'clock, and that's 8 o'clock his time. So look up Harry, the Swingin' 60s. Man, he has a great show. He's on for 2 hours. That's where I met John. We were in Ireland together. Well, we wasn't really there physically, but we were there. We were in the chat room. We was talking to Harry and talking to one another. It's amazing how many nice people you can meet in so many different places nowadays. And I want to give Harry a great big shout out. Thank you, Harry, for everything that you've ever done. Until Thursday night, unless something changes, and if it does, I'll pop up and let you know. Until Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is George Espenlaub saying thank you for tuning in. And remember, if you missed the show, if you happen to miss a show, you can just come in and you can listen to it anytime you want. You can even download it, as many as you want. It don't cost you one penny. And you can do with them what you want. Tell your friends, your families, everybody, far and wide, that the George Espenlaub Show is live. We go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So if it's nighttime where you live, you have a great night. If it's already daytime, have a great day. Until then, be safe, help one another, care for one another, and may God keep you right in the middle of His hand. Until then, all of us here at the Funny Farm say good night and God bless.